Welcome back everyone to Cities Skylines 2, where we are building the realistic North American city of Riverview. And we've got a ton of stuff done already in the first episode. A downtown full of commercial activity and mixed density developments. A major central park and cemetery just south of downtown. Smoggy industrial ports alongside the riverfronts, commercial avenues lined with mixed density housing, beautiful row house neighborhoods served by public transport, and lots of sprawling single family neighborhoods. We also have most of the core services such as the Riverview Elementary School just north of downtown and the Riverview High School on the southern edge of the city. And to top it all off, we implemented a fully fledged tram network servicing the major arterials of the city, as well as a minor bus network servicing quieter suburban areas. But even with so much already in place, we're really going to take Riverview to the next level today, as we're now able to progress all the way to the big town milestone, which most importantly will unlock high density residential developments. And to reach this milestone, I've planned for some major overhauls of existing developments and of course the addition of a ton of new stuff. So get buckled in because this is going to be a bit of a ride. And of course, if you enjoy my content, hit the like button and consider subscribing if you don't want to miss out on any future uploads. Nearly 90% of my viewers aren't subscribed, so maybe you've just forgotten to. Thanks in advance. And of course I should say, this is an early beta build, so things are subject to change before release. Please keep that in mind. It feels great to be back here in Riverview. Let's just get started. The very first thing we're gonna do is actually place a service building that I completely forgot about in the first episode. I'll show you guys what I mean. Go to our panel here and we check our roads maintenance levels, or rather the road conditions, and we can see that it's getting pretty bad. And the critical part, of course, is that it's Moore Street, I don't know how you'd pronounce this, which is looking pretty terrible. And I mean, it's the primary and only access from the interstate network into Riverview. As of now, at least, that's gonna change after this episode, but for now it is. So I think the first thing we're going to do is go in here into road services, and we'll need to place down our road maintenance depot. It's a pretty industrial looking building, and I've already got a tram depot out here. So I think that it might be a good spot to just make sort of a little extension to this area here, something like that, and then we'll go grab it. And I'm pretty sure that's gonna take me to Milestone 5 because I need like 150 XP, but we'll see. Yep, Milestone 5 unlocked, tiny town. Let's check the progression panel. Loan limit increased, 1.2 million for money. Some more development points and some expansion permits. More importantly, mixed house zoning. I can't wait to show you guys this because this is an awesome concept. We've never had this in the Cities Skylines, of course. It's pretty much big apartment blocks with commercial establishments on the floor levels. It's awesome. We've got some farming, some communications for the new development tree, mailbox, post office, radio mast, and a bunch of nice district policies we can use. Next up is gonna be a bit of a gamble, but I want to split this river into two and have a river cut west of Riverview and end up somewhere down here because I need more natural boundaries, basically some geography to kind of stop my expansion or create like natural borders. This plain area here just seems a little too big right now, and it's also going to add to the aesthetics that we get a bit more nature in here. So gonna do some terraforming. I'll need to purchase the tiles to terraform. So fortunately I've got 23 tiles I can buy. So if we jump into this view here, I'm pretty much just gonna buy like something like this entire segment, and then we'll go ahead and grab all of this maybe. That's just 18. We'll grab this one as well. Let's grab this one because I want to redo this interstate interchange as well. And let's just grab this one and this one because we are also going to implement a very large rail network into the city, which I can't wait to show you guys. So let's grab all this stuff. 446,000. Yoink. And now the terraforming begins. With our terraforming in place and our river hopefully slowly filling up, the next big thing we're going to do is implement a rail network here in Riverview. And this is going to be pretty invasive because I don't have this, so I'm going to have to retrofit the whole thing, and I want to serve the downtown core of Riverview with a passenger rail station, and of course open up for the possibility of serving some of our suburbs with a commuter rail station as well. But I also want to have some cargo rail to handle all the industry here in the port of Riverview. Before we can do anything though, we have to place down the rail yard, and this is a massive building. It's about the size of downtown really. So my plans are to place the big rail yard somewhere in this vicinity, do a massive expansion to the port of Riverview industrial district out here, trying to create these like fake harbors that I've created over here as well. And then after I place all that down, we're gonna retrofit the passenger train station in here, and it's gonna be a true apocalypse. With our rail yard in place and a small little fake harbor created here for future industrial expansion, it's time we place the passenger train station. It's gonna occupy most of what is Madison Creek, but it's not gonna continue being this district. We're going to expand the downtown district so that includes the waterfront as well, and we get the train station in place. So let's just get that placed. I am going to have to delete a bunch of homes here and a few of the roads as well, because the train station is rather large. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of an invasive maneuver we're doing here, but I am pretty certain that in the end it's going to look worth it. Oh man, I feel like I've carved up half the city, but I'm pretty confident this is gonna be all worth it in the end. Although we've just broken a ton of stuff, I am going to create a massive expansion to the port of Riverview out this way, so we can hopefully satisfy some of the industrial demand in the coming months. And then, as soon as I've expanded this port, we're gonna jump into working on downtown and upzoning and expanding the overall city. Alright, so the port is really starting to take shape. The rail network is done, at least for now. And I've even done a bit of very basic detailing here in the here at the Riverview Central Station. Next up, I'm gonna spend some of my development points to buy some new stuff. So I want to unlock large parks because I eventually want to get to the large sports parks, which will allow us to create stadium districts. Should be very interesting. So we'll grab the park maintenance building and unlock large parks. And then I might go for either sports parks, but I also want a college. So I think for now I'm not gonna purchase anything and just save my 2 points. I can see that when we reach Boomtown, which is in about 4,000 experience points, we'll be getting 6 additional development points. So that's gonna be pretty nice. For now I'm just gonna sit on it. With our large parks unlocked, I'm just going to revamp our downtown city park. So I'll just move a few things out of the way, and then we've got this large city park that we can place right here. And I really like that. Looks pretty nice. Although, let's just see. Yeah, this is a pretty nice view actually. Alright, next up I want to upgrade our downtown. I'm quite happy with how it looks currently, but we've unlocked mixed density zoning and we gotta get some of those buildings in here, and I just want to expand downtown overall and upzone a bunch of the lots. But the first thing I want to do is actually upgrade Sunnyside Street, turning it into an avenue of some sort. So I'm probably gonna go with the 4-lane divided road and just gonna upgrade it throughout. Alright, so I've renamed Sunnyside Street to Sunnyside Avenue, which feels a little more appropriate. And next step is rezoning and upzoning downtown. If we check our current zoning situation here in downtown, now that mixed housing is unlocked, I want to upgrade the low density commercial areas here to some mixed density. I might squeeze in actually a bit of European style as well, because if something in the European architecture grows that looks sort of generic, then I'll keep it just to make sure that the diversity of the types of buildings I get is as high as possible. I'm also gonna get rid of these low density offices here in downtown. Obviously quite low density, and they're more fitting for like a suburban office park. So I'm gonna do some rezoning and upzoning, and something you'll see me do is I'll try to diversify the like zoning sizes that I create. So instead of like zoning 4x4 everywhere with the same zoning type, I'm gonna try and like adjust it a bit to ensure that I get as many diverse buildings as possible. Let's get cracking. As we steadily let downtown grow out, we can check our city information and see that we've got massive low density residential demand, and the same for just our regular commercial demand. So it's time to sprawl the city a bit more, and I think I'm gonna start out by filling out much of the areas here in the northern part of the city, bordering the railway yard. And there you go, we've unlocked Milestone 6, Boomtown. 1.4 million in credits, 6 development points and 8 new tiles to buy. Let's check our progression panel. increased loan limit, textile fiber farming, and some new policies. So now we've got 2 new suburban developments out here, and I added a bunch of extra parking lots here to really create that suburban parking lot, hillscape, shopping center, North American vibe. I was talking about getting some sports parks or stadiums. So let's unlock sports parks and large sports parks. I would really like to have an American football field where you've got good views of downtown. I think I'm going to demolish this entire area and place it down here. I like the location. I think it's pretty realistic to have it near the, old industrial sites. Let's add some parking lots. And you just saw me do an expansion to Eastport so that it's got almost 1,000 workplaces now, which is pretty nice. I also added some additional residential units out here in the, southwestern part of the city. That's correct. Added an additional elementary school as well, because I couldn't really keep up with demand. Additionally, I have expanded our single police station here in Riverview, added the garage extension, which basically doubles the amount of patrol cars in use. And the reason I've done that is that a few districts, such as downtown, have a bit of a crime issue. So as we can see here, there's a -2 in whatever calculation method they use for high crime. It's time to expand and revamp the interstate network here in this county. We've got one connection here to the interstate network, which I'm going to revamp, make a little more smooth. And then I'm probably going to add a connection down here somewhere, and I'm going to drag a highway through the western part of the city and probably connect it up here again. And I may not go for like a fully fledged highway, but more like a national road type of thing. But I just want much more connectivity throughout. Alright, so this is definitely more of like a national road than it is an actual interstate cutting through the town, but I do like some of the random designs I ended up with here on the northern part of the city. Created a big low density single family neighborhood up here called Northside, 205 single family houses and extremely car dependent. We've got no public transport out here. There's not even sidewalks on many of the streets, so yeah, America baby. Also created a neighborhood up here, which I called Butler. Very, very simple, low density residential neighborhood once again. Now, I did mention no public transport reaching Northside, but we are going to do public transportation expansions in the future. And to that aim, I want to place down the bus station, and I want to place it relatively close to downtown, but without really tearing down any of the existing developments. So I found a spot here where if I remove Barlow Lane, and yeah, cause massive pain for these people, I should be able to place down the bus station. Upgrades, we can do extra platforms. Ah, that looks very nice. Let's just do that immediately. And we are now very, very close to the next and final milestone of this episode here. Big Town, unlocking the juicy stuff I've been waiting for. So to get all the way there, we are going to exploit some of the massive zoning demand we have for low density stuff and create a low density neighborhood here on the southern part of the island. That turned out pretty nice actually. So one more thing I want to add, which is probably going to bump us to the next and final milestone, is I'm gonna add some telecom services, because unreliable internet service is one of the main detractors to the happiness of my citizens. So to do this, I'm gonna grab this radio mast and I'm gonna place it throughout the city, preferably in industrial areas, to provide coverage from there. Going to go ahead and upgrade a few of these with the bandwidth increase, as well as the wireless network antenna. And there we have it, milestone 8, Big Town. 1.9 million in credits, 8 development points and 10 expansion points. And the progression panel, we know what we're looking for. It's finally time to completely revamp Downtown Riverview. At least the look of downtown, because it's going to change very dramatically in these final minutes of this episode. To incentivize development of residential units here in downtown, I'm going to subsidize it massively just for a short amount of time. Hopefully that can kind of spur even more demand. We already have demand for higher density residential, so let's get zoning. Something that is very important for me with these buildings, as they are quite tall, is that I do not reuse the same zoning size twice. So if I, for instance, were to zone a 3x4. Here I make sure not to do it anywhere else with the same zoning type. And with the same type I mean high density housing, North American. I can switch to European and do the same sort if I want to, because the building is gonna look different. And luckily for many of these high density buildings, they are generic enough to actually be able to use from both themes. So let's just go and zone some high density stuff throughout. I am also going to upzone some of the areas on the outskirts of downtown, not necessarily with high density, but with medium density as well as low rent housing, just to create a much more dense look. All that's left to do now is just hit play and let all the cranes get to work. This is the final result, and I must say I'm quite happy with the progress we've made during this episode. Riverview is really starting to feel like a city. Now there's so much more I'd love to do, but given the guidelines state that I cannot go further than 30 minutes or beyond the big town Milestone, our second episode will have to end here. But we will actually get to create a third episode before the official release of the game, where we can progress even further here in Riverview. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on that, remember to subscribe and enable notifications. I'll leave you guys with some beautiful cinematics here at the very end, and if you have any questions or want to share your thoughts on Cities Skylines 2, write a comment down below and I'll try to answer as many as possible. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.